So I did a stream of me killing a mini-boss, and my recording software completely gave out on me, and I lost the video. And since everything in this game is auto-saved, that means I can't redo it. So, I got another character up to the point where you can fight that boss. He's much lower level. About all I have done is upgrade a short bow to +5, buy 900 of the arrows that cost 3 souls, and pump any remaining attribute, any remaining souls into the dexterity attribute. That tree is still following me. Let's go down here. Save at this bonfire. Just in case things go poorly, and they might. This character is nowhere near as godly as my other guy. I mean, all I've got is a heater shield, which is actually, if you're looking for a good shield early on, the heater shield is not that bad. The weight is only 2, but it has 100% physical reduction. So it's a good shield for mages or pyromancers that you haven't pumped a lot of, that you don't want to wear a lot of heavy armor. The thief armor is completely unupgraded. Got the rusted iron ring and the tiny being ring, which increases our hit points slightly. Let's equip that humanity, because humanity can actually be used as a healing item. So 5 humanity plus 10 Estus flasks gives us about 15 heals. Now the hardest thing is going to be getting to this boss, but I think I know a way I can make it a lot simpler than it should be. And over here you've got a bunch of crystal monsters. Let's see how well the bow does. 24 damage. That is a lot less than I was hoping. Alright. Ow. So I got hit there. The good news is that so did they. The Hydra actually completely killed one of them. Ooh, I almost sneezed. This is a bad time to instinctively close my eyes. Alright, let's get them all grouped up. Did that hit anyone? Well, that hit him. There we go. There we go. Alright. I think I can kill them like this at this point. Provided he doesn't jump around. Yeah. Sucks to be immobile. It also sucks because my other guy was able to take these guys on in a fair fight. Not so much this low-level thief. So, the trick to this guy is you've got to get in close. At which point, he can no longer hit you with the energy attack, and he switches to a sort of lunging attack. Usually. This lunging attack is really nothing to worry about as long as you've got a shield that blocks 100% physical. What I really need is for a couple of these heads to die. Now you may have noticed at this point that the Hydra is not exceedingly difficult to fight. Oh. I say right before I get hit. What I have heard is that the Hydra was originally supposed to be a much more complicated boss, but they ran out of time. They ran out of development time to fix them up. And they ended up having to go with something that's just sort of functional. Whoa, gotta make sure I don't get pulled off the edge. Ha! I can see someone else fighting it. Now, you may not be able to see it very well, but there's sort of a line in front of me where the water changes color. There's a hole there. Oh, this guy should not be hitting me. There we go. A beginner trap is to get too overconfident in your attacks and to try and chase the heads while they're moving away, and then you fall down in the water. And of course you can't swim for some reason. Got him a quarter of the way. Oh, yeah, I'm not attacking that left head anymore. I'm also attacking with the bow because I think I can do more damage. Oh, there went a head. There went another head. If I can hit a more vulnerable spot like this. Yeah, fill your neck with arrows. Can I hit any of these? No. My aim would have to be much better. Try and get a little bit closer so the damage fall off isn't as bad. All things considered, this is not very bad damage for this being the very first major boss that I've killed on this guy. There is a second Hydra in the game, which is slightly more impressive. It's got, you're on kind of a sandbar, and there's water on the left, water on the right, and it will actually jump over the water, or jump over the sandbar. And so you get to see this thing go flying above you. So what does killing this guy get you? Get you a dragon scale, which can be used to upgrade various types of dragon weapons, and the Dusk Crown Ring, which cuts your hit points in half, but increases your magic damage. Also, this corpse here has the Knight Armor, not the Elite Knight Armor. I don't think one of them is necessarily better than the other. They just have slightly different stats, different weights. So one may have better physical protection, but it's heavier, so which one do you want to use? Also, they look slightly different. The Knight set has a open face visor, whereas the Elite Knight has the closed one, which is actually the entire reason I got it. Because if you're spending most of your time running around looking like an undead monster, just as well cover up that face. So there are a couple more things to do in this area. The first thing is that if you log out and log back in, there's suddenly a mini-boss here. And I'm not sure how fighting this guy's gonna go. Ah, 7 damage. We're off to a good start. Now, it'll do more damage as it gets closer. Question really is, can I take this guy? Oh, and I want to get close enough to show you something. The giant crystal on his back, if you look very carefully, you can see that there's something in there. You see it? You can just barely see it. What in the world is that thing? Well, let's open him up and find out. Oh, 17 damage, really? I hope you're not going anywhere soon. Ooh. Maybe I should have upgraded my sword instead of the bow. Actually, no, it's not that bad, I guess. It's a nice... The rapier doesn't do a lot of damage, but it's a fairly decent lunging weapon. Or thrusting weapon, I believe is the technical term that the game uses. You know what? Let's see if we can fight this guy on a bit better terms. What I should have done is put the bow in the right hand. How's your pathing out here, buddy? You know, I may not want to do this. If I get him, if he fell off the edge, that'd be bad for everyone concerned. Alright, this works well enough. We can punch. Oh jeez. Don't want to get hit by that. Oh. That time I was saved simply by his bad aim. Ugh. This guy is much harder without fully upgraded gear. Oops, that's not the block button. There we go. And that is what was inside his shoulder. Hey lady.
So, 'tis thou who rescueth me. Most gracious, I am deeply obliged. I am Dusk of Ulasil. I cometh from an age long before thine. I cannot stay here for long. So, before I disappear, allow me to ask one thing. My home, Ulasil, is the home of ancient sorceries. My hope is to pass this profound knowledge to thee, with thine approval. Would this be of assistance to thee? My heartfelt thanks. I am pleased beyond words. Then I shout, engrave my signature. Thou art in need. Pray summon me from my signature. It seems that my time is done. May the great flames guide thee.
So she's from the past. She kind of gives it away with the "May the great flames guide thee." Yep, she is totally from an age when the gods were at their power. fire was great importance. Oh, that ladder? That ladder takes you to a silly place. We won't go there for a while. So if you run over here by this rock, you find her signature. You can summon her, and she's a merchant of sorts.
I am Dusk of Ulasil. It is an honor to see thee again. I shall follow thy wishes.
Let's learn the proper bow. And she sells some very interesting items. First of all, she sells this cheap catalyst, the weapon that wizards use to cast their sorceries. It has some fairly low attribute scaling, but the initial amount, the magic adjust, is 180, which is really high early on. So, coming down here and killing the Hydra, if you're a sorcerer, is not a bad idea because you can get a really powerful item at the beginning of the game. She also sells some really weird sorceries. Hidden Body hides you like the Ring of Fog. Cast Light makes light in the area like the lantern does. Repair your items. Chameleon makes you look like some random item in the area, like a bush or a barrel that has PvP applications. And Hidden Weapon, which makes your weapon invisible, which also has PvP applications. If you're carrying a spear, make that invisible, and they have no idea that you're going to use thrusting attacks, or swiping attacks, or, whatever. Really massive weapons that are identifiable from a long distance are no longer obvious.
For a very long time, I was trapped within the crystal golem. From my home I was taken, banished to a plane of distortion. It was there that thou came to my rescue, long after I had relinquished all hope. So gleeful was I. My faith reneweth. The sorceries of Ulasil differ from the magic of thine age. It is difficult to explain. Ulasil's sorceries are, what doth one say? They're somewhat of an approximation. Thine sorceries are more straightforward, negating all but thyself. Dost thou not find some fascination in these discrepancies?
I'm not entirely sure what she's saying, but it sounds a lot like the magic is different between the Age of the Gods and the Age of Man. In the early days, there was pyromancy. There was not pyromancy. There was a different type of fire magic that came from the Witch of Izalith. But as the flame began to fade, it stopped working as well, and eventually humans invented pyromancy. So I'm guessing that a lot of the sorceries from Ulasil worked in a different way than the current sorceries.
If thou art in need, pray summon me again. I wish to be of assistance. May the flames guide thee.
So you also deal with her in the new DLC, the Prepare to Die edition. And all of the things I just did here are necessary in order to start the DLC. The DLC is really weird. You would not know where to go in order to start the DLC unless, I don't know, I had to look it up online. I had no clue that you had to do any of this in order to start it. Another weird thing we got going on here is this item that just showed up after we talked to her. those are all her items. Which is really weird, because that was not there before, and now we found her deceased corpse. Which makes you wonder, what has changed, or what happened to make the lady over there on the other side of the lake die in the cave here in the past? I don't know, it's weird. Another reason that wizards are advised to do this place is that you get the Crown of Dusk. It increases the damage of your magic by, I think, 20%. It looks a little weird on the guy. But, you know, if you're doing a lot of damage, well, it doesn't matter what you wear. Well, no, I don't think that I would go adventuring in this. Actually, the rest of the outfit is pretty terrible. It's got really high curse resistance, but that's something you deal with so rarely. And oftentimes with curses, there are ways you can just avoid getting cursed in the first place by just not getting hit. So, in summary, down here you can get the knight armor, you can get a helm that increases magic damage, a weapon that increases magic damage, and a bunch of special spells you can't get anywhere else. You can get down here by going to the blacksmith and then down that cliff wall. Or you can also go past Hovel. This is the door to Hovel's room. Up there is the bridge to the dragon. And then the gargoyles are up over there somewhere. So, now comes the moment of truth where I end the video and see if it crashes this time or if we have a successful boss fight.